All right, guys, I need some help. The Chevelle 5.3 turbo, the engine is making a weird rattling sound, and I have no idea where it's coming from. So I thought it'd be cool to do this video, tell you everything I know at this point as far as diagnostics and whatnot, and trying to figure out what it is. I'll let you listen to the sound and then just help me by commenting below and see where I should go from here, because I just poked around. I didn't take much stuff apart or anything. I just tried to listen at this point and think about it and so forth, and that's it. So let's go listen to the noise and then you let me know what you think. There it is, right around 2,000 RPM. That was up to 3,500. What the hell is that? It's noisy on when it revs down too. All right, so there was a noise, and here's what I know about it so far. When it first started, it was pretty faint, and as time goes, I just kept driving it. I didn't care. It's getting louder and louder, so at some point, I gotta not drive it or not run it and find the problem. But anyway, it doesn't seem to be there when it's cold, so when it gets warm, it's there. And it's right around 2,000 RPM-ish. It's under cruising or light load, little bit of throttle. And as it runs just fine. It starts just fine. It goes wide open throttle, no power loss, nothing. When I hammer it, it seems to go away, or maybe it's there a little bit, but not as noticeable or as loud as when, like, let's say 2,000 RPM. Some things I've checked is the AC belt was halfway off, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's it. This was early on when it was really faint. That didn't seem to do anything. Then I took the accessory belt off, and the noise was still there. So, water pump, alternator, power steering, all that stuff. Then, it sounds like it's coming from the top, and it also sounds like it's coming from the bottom. So I'm like meaning like the clutch area. So then I'm like, oh, is something wrong with the clutch and the pressure plate or something? So I stuck a camera in there and I spun the motor over manually and looked. All the bolts are there. Everything looks cool. So I don't think it's from the clutch. And then what I did is I used the screwdriver to ear trick and tried to poke around in the engine, and I couldn't really find it anywhere, in the valve covers, valley cover, so forth. And then here's a cool trick you might want to be look into is I got this from South Main Auto on YouTube. Instead of having your ear to the screwdriver, and if this slips on a moving part, you're going to get cracked in the head with the screwdriver handle, right? So what you do is you take something like this, a funnel or whatever, you stick it over the screwdriver, and now it's like a little amplifier. And the noise, you could just go like this, and you can, like check it. Like if I just hit this table, right? Now watch this. It's like amplified through here, so I can have my head in a safe position as you poke around. Another thing is, this is from day one, the build has had kind of low oil pressure, or I would like to see more oil pressure. So I rebuilt it with stock bearing clearances, all new bearings. Everything looked fine. I do have a oil feed restrictor for the turbo, so that's a oil bleed, right? I went with the Melling M295 pump, and I've seen pressures as low as 17 PSI at idle. And that's when I think my oil was 530, and I didn't change it for a while. And E85, the gasoline or the E85 gets into the oil, and it kind of dilutes it a little bit. So if you change the oil, if you keep the oil fresh, and I think I'm up to 1540 now, I get about 25, 27 at idle, 35 cold, and then when it's hot, wide open throttle, I'm getting 45, 50 pounds. What I would like to see is like 40 PSI at hot idle, and then, whatever at 50, 60, 70 PSI at wide open throttle. That's what I would like to see. So that's just a bit of info. I would not choose that pump again not for this build. I'd like to go maybe a little higher volume, a little higher pressure, and that way I'm covered. So there's that bit of info. So that's that. Help me out. Comment below. Let me know what you think the noise is.